This is A View from the Bridge, official podcast of the Belfast Giants for kingdomofthegiants.com. Today's Tuesday, the 27th of September, 2022. My name is Patrick Smith. We're live on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and you can download us, of course, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor FM, and a load more of your normal podcast providers. On this week's show, 4 wins from 4, and the Giants already in the quarterfinal of the Challenge Cup, making a real statement of their intentions in this competition. We'll be talking about the dispatching of the Stars and how it was no plain sailing. Davy Gilbert was the star of the show on Saturday with the overtime goal and another one away on Sunday. He'll join us for the fan agenda, so get your questions in for that. And we'll have some news from around the league. And this weekend we'll be playing the Clan. They're 0-7 and they're up next against the Giants, but that's nothing to say that they won't come at us. Mr. McChimpsey, how you doing?
Not bad, Paddy. International Languages Week. The guards are doing languages, so sent Ruby in with an Ulster Scots handout today for a bit of crack on
of course
on Friday, naturally. So for the middling, as my granny would say.
Joel, how are you? Bonjour.
Hi boys, good evening. It's always good to spend a Tuesday night with you. I mean, as far as Ulster Scots is concerned, Davy, that's my homeland. So if you want to do the rest of the show and Donbrook, then let's do it.
I need to find that video I need to find that Frank Mitchell video and put that on. It's my favorite video. The fellow talking in Ulster Scots. Anyway, we have a lot to cover on today's show. Of course, we got the games against Dundee and the likes, but we start, as we quite often do, with something a lot more important. So please welcome to the show 2 people. One making their AVFTB debut, and the other one absolutely not. Laura and Marcin, how are you?
Evening.
Hey friends. Hi, yes.
All right, folks.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Before we continue with a very important subject, is that he in bed already, or can he be on the pause?
He's just been dropped to bed, so
get him up.
Get him up. Make him down the stairs. Don't worry.
Listen, the sound of "get him up" from a fella who's not a father yet, who at 9 o'clock says "get him up," that changes, mate. Believe me, that changes.
One other thing, Paddy, I think it would be absolutely remiss not to wind the clock back 24 hours.
That's not.
And wish Laura a very special. It was a big one yesterday, so big happy birthday yesterday.
Thank you, Jem.
Yes. Well, we normally put a photograph out, Davy. What happened there?
That's fine. We're all good with that.
I just went with the personal message this year, mate, rather than
which was the best message, one of the best messages of the day, and the best message you've ever sent me. I think it was fantastic.
Just leave it there.
Lovely. I assume it's not going to be shared.
Maybe at a later date.
Maybe a later date. Laura, obviously, you often join us when there's something important coming up, and what is it?
It's Organ Donation Week, and right. I'm never done talking about this topic. That's because it's never going to go away, and people are always going to need donations. People to sign up to be blood donors, organ donors, stem cell donors. I'm going to talk really quickly about blood and stem cells, and then Marcin can lead on his topic of expertise, organ donation. So blood. Only about 6% of the people in Northern Ireland are signed up to be blood donors. That is horrific. Blood is needed all the time. Car accidents, cancer patients, difficulties in birth, just so many different areas. I think they need about 150 new blood donors a week. That's huge. So we're encouraging people to sign up. You can sign up by texting. I think it's 600 blood, 681. You can come and sign up on Saturday night on the bridge. We will have a sign up for everything kind of area. And Marcin's going to talk about donors, organ donors. I'm going to talk really briefly, because I did talk about it a couple of months ago, about stem cell donation. Yeah. So it's just following kind of on the back of Daniel, who's from Uri. He's got acute myeloid leukemia. And the only cure for that, hopeful cure for that, is a bone marrow transplant. I did talk about it in the past, but a lot of people contacted me saying I didn't know this, so I'm just going to say it again. Years ago, being a stem cell donor was a really big deal. It had to be taken from your hip bone or somewhere down there, and it was a huge needle, generally a GA, very painful process. Now only 5% of bone marrow donations are done that way. It's now done through stem cells, through blood. So it's so easy, painless, same day kind of thing. Just go in, give your blood. Like, that can save somebody's life. That's insane, especially at 14 years old when you've got a whole life in front of you. So unfortunately, we can't do it this week, but we're going to do it on Saturday the 15th. We're going to have McKeever's Pharmacy come in, and they're going to do stem cell testing on the bridge. So it's easier than having the lateral flow, and we're all no strangers to those. So we're going to ask people to come along, just get tested there and then. It saves you having to go and register, get the pack, do the pack, and send it off. So just alleviates all the little bits that you always mean to get around to do, but they just never happen. So we're going to ask people to come along on the 15th as well. But look out for us on Saturday night. There's going to be some things on social media leading up to it, but come to the bridge. If you're not sure about organ donation, come and chat to Marching, chat to myself, chat to Dylan, just chat to anyone that's around that area. Just really quickly, I know I'm always telling this stat as well, but within our fan base, we have a crazy amount of people who have either been a recipient, been a donor, or have donated their loved ones' organs. So Blake got a heart valve, Nicole got cornea. We have a woman who had a heart. We have a couple, he gave her his kidney. We have Tom Simpson, who had Dylan, saving him to last. He's extra special.
Of course.
We had Tom Simpson, who had over 300 blood transfusions, over 100 platelet transfusions, and then pretty much 2 bone marrow transplants to get to where he is. And then Dylan, who is very unusual and is a recipient and a donor all in one go, which is pretty special. So just in our fan base alone, then we have Jimmy, who gave his kidneys to a man in his 60s, a man in his 70s, and then his liver went to research in London. And then we had wee Sally as well, who gave her organs. So within our fan base alone, it just shows you the crazy impact it has. So I'm going to stop talking now and let Marching charge on, because I'll just keep going all night.
Well, we can listen to those facts all night, to be honest, because they're all, to be honest, all those stories give us hope that one day that our Dahi will be added to that list. And one thing that I love to see in the arena is that we've got to know all these people, or most of those people, sorry, and to see them thriving. All still have their own difficulties, but they're kicking ass, really. Sorry if I'm not allowed to say that here,
you
but
you can definitely say that.
It's very clear to see, the likes of Dylan and wee Blake and Nicole and even Graham, who had a heart transplant as well, who's always sharing their stories with us. But as Laura said, it is organ donation week this week, and for us, for our family, every day is organ donation week and day. But what this week does to kind of every average Joe really is it gives them the opportunity to consider joining the organ donor register and to sharing their decision with their loved ones. Not many people are aware of this, but it's your loved ones that always make and always have the final say on organ donation. Whether you've joined the organ donor register or not, it's your loved ones who make that call. So if you've joined the organ donor register, even when Dahi's law comes into effect, it'll always be your loved one's decision. So it's very important to take 2 minutes, over coffee, over dinner, or whatever, just to say, and it can be as simple as, if anything were to happen to me, I want to be a lifesaver. The statistic is that only 1% of all deaths result in organ donation. And to me, if anything happened to me, and I know I'm a little biased, that if anything happened to me and I could be an organ donor, I would be very proud to be able to give the gift of life. But I am biased, and why I am biased is because my son Dahi, who's 5 years old, has been on the waiting list for the gift of a new heart for over 4 years. So that's most of his young life. And I know a lot of people watching this tonight will have met Dahi and give him a fist bump, or even may have taken a dig in the beer.
Both, yeah. Both.
With Dahi, we are seeing his we're seeing his decline. And as I said, He's just opened the door here, so he must have.
Get him on. Get him on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hi, buddy.
Why
Your
does it
numbers
spike
have
week?
just rocketed.
this is the superstar.
What is it this week, Danny? Organ
Yeah,
donation week.
buddy.
And what does that mean?
buddy.
What does organ donation do?
Help people save lives.
Helps people save lives. You're right. Jeff.
Hey,
Well
can
done.
you see the bottom of the screen, mate? Can you see the web link? organdonation.nhs.uk.
Who's that?
Me.
You?
Can you read that out for everybody? Where does everybody need to go on the internet? Can you tell us where to go on the internet?
Organ donation.
Organ donation saves
No,
lives.
so it's organdonation.nhs. Go say it.
Organ donation
.nhs.
.nhs.uk.
.uk. And
Atta
tell
boy.
everybody
Atta boy.
Fabulous.
you can come
Like
see
a
you on
pro.
Saturday. Everybody can come see you on Saturday on the bridge, can't they?
Yes.
Yes, tell everybody see you Saturday.
See you Saturday.
Come on, the
Bye, my
Giants.
friend.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
wonderful.
Could you just apologise to Seth as well
Hey,
there,
go to bed.
Martine?
Yes, no worries.
Wonderful.
He kills
Wonderful.
it.
I love that child so much.
But yes, but as you say, it's so important that people get involved, that they go to this website organdonation.nhs.uk, get their name down there and be part of it. We like you said, we spoke about the last time you were on about like bone marrow donation, and like you say, Marcin, having that word with your loved ones, saying that you want to be that lifesaver, saying, making sure that they're aware that they're your intentions. It's just so important.
Definitely. And it couldn't be easier. I know that people always say this will take 2 minutes and it takes 15, but it actually takes 2 minutes to join the register and 2 minutes to have that life-saving conversation. Like there's no amount of money in the world that can save our Dahi, but a simple conversation can, and that is just how easy it is. And sometimes it's a little frustrating how easy it is, because sometimes complacency comes in. So please, it means the world to us and to families like us if you can just take the 5 minutes out of your day to join the register and have the conversation.
Paddy, can I be selfish and just jump in 1 second? Because
Absolutely.
I need to hold my hands up here. I was one of those people who put it off and put it off and put it off, because nobody likes thinking about these kinds of things, right? Like if you went through life thinking about all these kinds of things that go wrong, thinking about, dying, thinking about whatever else, it's not something that most people do. And it wasn't until we had that organ donation night season before, pre-COVID, was it? Pre-COVID season, just before shutdown. That it was really, I forced myself to confront it in a way. And having known these people, having known Marcin and Seth and Dahi and knowing Dylan and whatever else, and knowing their stories, it embarrassed me that I hadn't done it sooner. And having taken that 5 minutes in the arena that night to go and literally sign my name, and it's done. I never in my life would have had a problem with doing it, but I had never taken the wee step to make sure that it happens if the worst was to happen. So if that's you watching tonight, and you're someone who, of course you would give the gift of life to somebody. Of course you would receive it if you needed it. So if that is you tonight, go to the bridge, see these guys, take one look at Dahi and tell me that you don't need to be on that register until such times as it's mandatory. But I sign my name, and it's one of the best things I think I've ever done in that arena. And anytime I get the chance to talk about it now, I do. I know it's not comfortable, but take 2 minutes and just think about it, because if it was the other way around, you'd be jumping at it.
Can I just comment on that, Joel? Just around 50% of people sign the register, but 97% of people say they'd accept organ donation. So
there you go. Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't?
So do your bit. Listen, they're no good to me. They're no good to me now, flip sake, but they're no good to me whenever I'm gone. Whatever you can salvage from here, it's public property. And honestly, who'd be any different? It's such a small thing that can make such a massive difference. It's so important.
And the great thing about the Belfast Giants fan base is they're always good at coming forward when things like this happen. When we have these sort of drives for Organ Donation Week and the likes, and it's always wonderful the response that we get from the Belfast Giants fans. And I'm sure this Saturday on the bridge and all those stuff that's going on will be no different, Laura.
Hopefully not there. Unbelievable. Every time we do anything, whether it's you guys or it's the boys or me doing my hair, couldn't fault them. They're unbelievable. We're really lucky.
Can we get Joel to shave his beard again? Just throw that out there.
No, listen, that ship has sailed, my friend. You saw these chins. Nobody needs that again.
Baby face.
To coin a phrase, Ulster has suffered enough.
Well, guys, listen. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for coming on, joining us, and sharing story. And hopefully, no doubt, that the Organ Donation Week will go fantastically. We do encourage everybody. You see that on the screen. organdonation.nhs.uk. We'll be tweeting it out and then all on our socials and the likes. But please, please, please get involved and become a lifesaver. Laura, Marcin, thank you for your time.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, my friends.
Wonderful to have them on. Wonderful. It's such a worthwhile cause.
Live Davy appearance, man. How do you top that?
And the show's been topped already. We've had Davy.
We might as well just stop. Let's just go.
It's unbelievable. But yep, Organ Donation Week, get involved. And as we say, go to that website, organdonation.nhs.uk. And with that, gentlemen, let's get stuck into the games that took place last weekend between the Belfast Giants and the Dundee Stars. We'll start with the game that took place on Saturday night at the SSE Arena between these two teams. The Belfast Giants took a 5-4 victory over the Dundee Stars. Their goal scorers were Scott Conway, Kieran Long, we'll come back to that one, David Gilbert, who will join us later, Mark Cooper in regular time. For the Dundee Stars, it was... I'm not going to start this. Semyonovs, Sanch, Barija, who's a penalty shot, and Sancho again. The goal scorer that finished the game in overtime was David Gilbert. In nets, Peyton Jones, 22 shots against, 4 goals against, and Anton Svensson, you couldn't get more Swedish in him, 36 shots against, 5 goals against. Your referees were Joe Sewell and our good friend Mr. Dalton. Davy, the Stars brought it to the Giants on the ice and on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they just wouldn't go away, and they I thought that Svensson and nets across both games was so relaxed, and that glove hand he has is just something really special. He's really impressed me. That's the 2 games that I've seen him playing in this weekend. He was really good, and we just couldn't really solve that riddle at times. I thought that as the highlights start to roll across the bottom here, I thought we were quite careless at times in possession. We gave the puck away. I'm sure we turned the puck over. I wouldn't like to count the number of times we turned the puck over, but we gave opportunities. We gave a lot of odd man rushes up. We gave a lot of one-on-ones away. Peyton Jones was very good on Saturday. Jackson Whistle was very good on Sunday, and had to be, because Dundee have that ability to go back to front very, very quickly. So I thought Semyonovs, is that how you said it? Was excellent, especially on the penalty kill. There's a great goal here. That's a little touch from Collins just to take it away and then just finish it off so nicely. But I thought Semyonovs was really, really good in terms of on the penalty kill. There was times he was holding off 2-3 guys at a time, running that clock down, and not letting the Belfast Giants they suffocate us. They just wouldn't let us get any pressure. This goal here, I guess the highlight of it being whenever our 2 guys go down, I think it's Foley on the post there, get a different angle on it, gets like bees the honey pot. He goes in behind and leaves the front of the shop open there, and whoever it was scored for Dundee. I think we'll have it on the replay here. I think I've even paused it. So Laker goes in to make it a 2-on-2, and when Foley identifies that he's getting the puck, he goes in, and at that point we're dead there, and we've left the front of the net open, and he comes in. The 2 wingers, Macaulay and Cooper, have their guys coming down high, and whoever it was, who scored for Dundee?
Semyonovs.
He makes that skate to the front post, and he does a little lovely loop back in and just stays in the slot, waiting, hoping for something to happen. It actually happens again. I think it's our first goal, possibly on Saturday night or on Sunday night. Exactly the same thing happens. 3-on-2 overload behind the net and somebody standing out front. But they kept coming back and they crashed the net. The amount of times goalies got ran over the weekend was unbelievable. Not in terms of bad running, but just contact with goalies. A lot of it over the weekend. And They just
Or,
didn't go
or
away.
shots after the whistle.
Well, that happened as well, and there's a little bit of bad blood brewing, and it shows how much the game's changed that there wasn't anything actually really came off it. But here's Longer's goal. Let Joel go, Joel.
Way to absolutely launch me into the conversation there.
Longer's goal. Have at it.
Yeah, no, Kieran Long, I think has had an unbelievable start to the season, and he's continued into his domestic form, and I was encouraged by the replies to the tweets asking for the player of the month earlier. Broadly speaking, I'll not add too much to Davy's assessment there. He's pretty bang on.
Whoop.
There was a lot in this game that I liked.
Fantastic.
But there's also a lot in this game that we still need to iron out. You look at those 3 periods, we hit the post, I think, twice early in the first. That first power play, we buzzed around the zone for 2 minutes, just didn't get the goal. Gabe Bast, that kind of flip pass over the top, the cons for the opening goal was sensational. I absolutely hate conceding after we score. The game just pendulumed like this all night. Sanch hit us cold early in the second. Longer goes top shelf straight after. We kill another 5-on-3, full 2 minutes. And then Berija has the penalty shot. Third period, Will Cullen has the best dangles I've ever seen to feed Gilbert for the tying goal at 3-3. Sanch then gets the breakaway. And then Coop with some backhand work over on the right looked absolutely stunning. Something I saw today actually was really interesting. I hadn't fully really thought about this, but that's because I'm thick compared to you, but there's a great piece in the Beltel today. Adam McKendry interviewing David Goodwin, and Goody mentions just how much the lines have been chopped early in this season. Maybe something that we didn't have as much last year. That kind of top line and second line broadly was established early in the year, and there still is a little chopping and changing going. If you look at our lineups, if you look at our starting sixes, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Far be it for me to say anything to Adam Keefe about ice hockey, but I do think that there is short-term pain in finding that winning combination. You've got players who maybe just aren't gelling as fast because they're suddenly in a new line or in a new lineup or playing differently. And you see late in the season that some players just know where each other are going to be at all times. Tyler Soy was an absolute master of it in terms of his work around the back of the net, in terms of going to the net, in terms of hiding at the post. I still think that there's a little bit of chopping and changing and maybe a little bit of tinkering with the lineup that's slowing us up from our full potential and from gelling and from being as explosive as we were last year. I thought it was an interesting chat with Goody. Again, not saying there's anything wrong with that, but finding a combination that's going to be successful along the season comes with a price. You have to make a compromise there. But look, there's a lot about this Belfast Giants team that I like, and there are just some things that still need ironed out.
I guess, Paddy, before you go there, because we've got the 2 extra guys this year that we didn't have last year, we're kind of have that opportunity to just change things around. We did shuffle things a little bit at the start of last year, trying to get that, before the Conway Goodwin Pickenit's line, was set in place. But it's not often you get like instant chemistry like those guys had, and six import D. It's going to be. It's going to be interesting decisions for Adam Keefe up and down the lineup, whether he chops and changes the D and brings in extra forwards. And we obviously had the opportunity on Sunday night then to bring in Deco and Whistle back in that allowed us to play Soisy and Ra again. But I think the key over the 2 games for me, and we'll come on to Sunday as the highlights of Saturday night rollout, was just patience. We were patient right to the end of both games. We had to go 60 minutes in both games. And yes, the scoreline probably was a bit lopsided on Sunday night towards the end, but we had to play like 55 of the 60 minutes to break the Stars. They're playing a wee bit short bench, and we just had to stick with the process. And I think Keeper maybe said at the end of the first period in Dundee, we're just having a wee bit of trouble solving Svensson here, but just be patient, stick with the process. A lot of good possession, a lot of good looks, a lot of great A's, and the chances will come. And eventually, Mystic Adam got it right.
As much as this game frustrated me at times, I really enjoyed it, and it
was a great game.
It was a real competitive battle between the 2 sides that were just matching each other at times. And there were times that I know that a few weeks ago, Davey, we were talking about just on WhatsApp about finding players that are maybe that X factor, and for lack of a better term, or like a Higgins or something like that, who will set the game alight. But we saw in this game some players with that showing that. I thought that we talked about the Will Cullen dangles to create for was it Gilbert goal? Better get that right before he turns up. And and then you've also got that spin from Coops. There were some moments in that game where I thought, you know what, this team does have that ability. And then it comes to overtime, and the finish from Gilbert was phenomenal.
I think you're absolutely right that there's individuals with high skill levels. Do we have that one player? You can't be relying on Will Cullen. You can't be relying on one of your D pairings to be that X factor player, as Neil Russell would do. Yes, transition the puck. Not every coach wants your D man to be first in. Brings different things. We've got good transition D men. Sorry about it. But you generally want one of your forwards being the guy that unlocks. Goody has an exceptional eye for a pass. Yes, good to see him getting on the scoreboard as well on Sunday night in terms of finding the back of the net. That'll do his confidence no harm at all. So yes, we have many high skilled players in there, and it's going to work out. It's going to be fine. We're 4 for 4 in the Challenge Cup. I think that Hendo say that we're qualified now with 2 before this weekend even starts. That'll give Adam. That'll maybe give him good problems and bad problems. He'll maybe want to shake things up to give a few boys. There could be boys playing a wee bit hurt. There could be boys playing a wee bit sick. There could be boys doing anything. Will we see Andrew Dixon over the weekend? Who knows? Just do we want to keep people fresh? The boys from up north there got his fingers crossed for his neighbour to get a game. But
play the kids, man.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Well, some of the young lads I've seen, Mac got a couple of shifts towards the very end of the Dundee game, stood and watched all weekend and got a chance for a few shifts once we got a few goals up. And that's the jeopardy with Mac as well. He's not going to be probably playing a regular shift in those games that are 1 each going down the stretch. So look, we're qualified now. That gives him an opportunity to roll a few lines, get a few boys in, mix a few lines up again, see what, put everything into the casserole dish and see what comes out.
Let's quickly just jump ahead as well now to the Sunday's game. The highlights in that game, of course, available from our friends at Belfast Giants TV. Get them on YouTube. And we go to Sunday's game back at the DIA. The Belfast Giants facing the Dundee Stars. It was Philippe Sanche with the goal for Dundee, but the Belfast Giants, Davy Gilbert, David Goodwin on the power play, and then 2 from Scott Conway. All those last 3 all in the final period that took the game away from the Dundee Stars. And goal, Jackson Whistle, 21 shots against, 1 goal against, and Anton Svensson, 29 shots against, 4 goals against. Toby Craig and Pavel Halas were the referees. And Joel, KG opening period, another physical battle at times, but in that third period, the Giants took control.
I am really enjoying Giant Stars games in a way that I didn't last season. I'm enjoying Jeff Mason's takeover at the Stars. I think that there's a bit of character about that team and a bit of feistiness about them. That first period had everything but a goal. Again, that was a really entertaining opening period. Two games that I really enjoyed watching, to be honest, as you say, Paddy, despite the frustrations. I think you had a couple of flashpoints in that first period that set the tone for the rest of the game. First of all, Roman Semyonovs was hurt behind Jackson Whistle and made his way down the tunnel. And then you had Dryden Dow. That was seconds after the whistle had gone for offside, flicking that puck into the net, which a few boys took exception to. And that really set the tone. And Davey's right. I think 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, there's probably fists flying whenever that happens. It just shows the changing nature of the game. But again,
or who was on the ice at the time, because I think it was Tyler Soy, and he went and gave him a wee slash or cross check. So maybe you're running into, I don't know, a Bush or an Adam Keefe himself on the ice might have been a completely different situation, as you say.
Yeah. But I mean, it sort of set the tone for the rest of the game then. The physicality was ramped up from the second. Gilbert, I think, has been clutch all through the weekend. And for, someone who was a late arrival, a late signing announcement this summer, I think he's going to be a real impact player all season. I really like him. I really like the way he talks. I really like his maturity on and off the ice. And certainly his eye for the goal, which you've seen. He had a great junior career in Quebec. He played in the AHL, played in the ECHL, scored a lot of goals in the Czech Republic, and I think he absolutely ran away with the scoring charts in France. So I'm expecting Gilbert to continue to chip away and to keep contributing like that. Philippe Sanche, my one predominant thought, he's such a tiny man. He's a little tiny man. He reminds me of like John Pelly or like those kind of tiny speed players, but I would have him in a Giants jersey yesterday. I really, really like Philip Sunch, the way he plays. There's a bit of an edge to him as well, a bit of aggression. But look, at this stage in the season, saying everything that we have said already about, lines chopping and changing, still taking a little while to get.
You had to put that in, David, didn't you?
For
It's in the
everything to
highlights.
come together.
It's in the highlights. It wasn't the highlights, you're right.
I think one thing. My last point, then I'll shut up, Paddy. Sorry. For the things that we're talking about that still haven't come together, one thing that I am seeing this early in the season is that the Giants perform in the clutch. We're maybe not as red hot as we like in regulation time, on the power play, whatever else. But you give us a 5-on-3 to kill, or you give us, a tight game late on, we're going to dig in and we're going to find that goal. The game's not over again. And I've seen those tendencies in teams that have been successful in previous years, and also in overtime. I think we've been absolutely masterful at 3-on-3. So this is a team with character that is coming together and will continue to come together. Lines will settle, boys will start to get to know each other and how each other plays, where they're going to be on the ice. And I think we dug in and got a result. It's so strange that you'd be, even Adam Keefe himself, even Davy and Joel in post game will be talking about, we're a good team, but we've got more, because we're, four games on the trot and 3 in the Challenge Cup. It's coming together, and it's going to be there, I think, sooner rather than later.
Davey?
Just thoughts on the Sunday's game. I thought we were very good defensively. I thought Jackson had a great game between the pipes, and I thought that whenever our opportunities came, we were patient for the full 60 minutes of the game, and we had to be. A bit like Saturday, Dundee just wouldn't go away. And I know, as I say, referenced earlier, Kiefer said about just sticking with the process and good things would happen. And, you get the puck on Conway's stick anywhere in that slot there, and he can do a lot of damage, a lot of goals last season, doing the same this season. Nice Sally there. I like that one. But I thought that just going and getting that third goal really just broke them. You've got to hand it. I think Joel mentioned about, Jeff Mason and the Stars. They play like Jeff Mason. A lot of coaches play in the style of their coach, and Dundee. Belfast do it. We like to play with that little bit of an edge that Kiefer had. Jeff Mason, an offensive D-man, and you can see that they're very well set defensively, but they transition really quick, and they've got Songe, and they've got big guys and Sam Janos, and they play in the mold of a Jeff Mason. And like, as I say, we wish Jeff well, obviously, as long as it's not against us. And it was good to come out with the 4 points over the weekend. And you can't really argue, I think, on grade A's and stuff and opportunities we had. It was probably the correct score on both nights.
Can anybody clarify for me, sorry, Paddy, why Scott Conway took a holding the stick penalty when he was in possession of the puck? Did anybody see that?
Because he was holding the stick.
Was he?
It doesn't. You don't have to be out of possession if you're holding somebody else's stick. It's a penalty.
Didn't see it.
No. Toby Craig, unfortunately.
Toby Craig.
It just didn't look like a situation where holding the stick penalty could happen. Doesn't matter. Carry on.
It's Scotland, mate. Anything can be called at any time. You'll always get a slashing call with Pav. You know what?
On these highlights, we have the interview with Adam Keefe, I believe, in this lineup.
Yeah, coming in about 5 seconds from now. Oh, just let her roll here. As soon as Jackson gets his man of match here, the coach starts to talk.
We'll get the comments from the coach.
Second period, I thought there was a little bit of a lull there, the penalties and the frustration. We weren't getting much. We weren't getting rewarded for our efforts. But I did like to challenge the group for the third period to come out and one game on the road. We find a way to win it and went the right way. And I thought we did that.
You said that, I think, at the end of the first period, it was just about keeping to your game, I suppose, and being persistent. And you did that. And I suppose that's one of the positives for you this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating sometimes when you're out there. I thought we were playing real well in the first period and we weren't getting rewarded for it. So sometimes guys get frustrated and they start trying to do a little too much. And, Dundee has some guys that can really make you pay if you make a mistake. It's you got to tip your hat to Dundee as well, playing very short bench tonight and giving us a real good game. And I think they're right with us right there until the very end. I think those obviously a big power play goal to give us the go ahead.
And the Challenge Cup games roll thick and fast for you. Another 2 against Glasgow next weekend, I think. How do you prepare for the next game?
A little bit of rest here. We'll enjoy tonight. I think we made some strides defensively tonight, which I liked. We want to talk about that and and manage those things going forward. But we're gonna get some rest here and get ready to go for another big weekend. Ultimately, we want to finish the top of this group. I know every team in this group does, but we've seen the benefits of it last year, and then we certainly are gunning for that.
That's great. Thanks very much.
No problem. Thank you.
Big thanks to our friends from Dundee Stars TV for that. And we do finish top of the group. The Belfast Giants are the first team to qualify for the quarterfinals of the Challenge Cup. And to do that, Davy, in the 4 games, and just winning the 4 games just takes a lot of pressure off.
It does. I'm not sure how it goes with other teams. Who gets the number 1 seed for the quarterfinals and stuff? We had that obviously last year, and it let us seed right through to have the home final. So we'll perhaps want to we'll want to take six wins from 6 anyway. We'll want to win every period we play, every game we play. So we'll want to keep the hammer down at the weekend. But yeah, like it gives the coach a little opportunity, as we said earlier on, injuries, illnesses. Just wants to have a look at some different combinations or whatever. It gives the coach an opportunity to run those things out in the next couple of games.
Well, quick look at that.
Especially as we have Glasgow, CHL. We've got a lot of games coming up in the next 2 weeks. And if they're borderline dead rubber, it's just a little bit better for us, isn't it?
With 4 wins from 4 and 2 games against Glasgow, if we win those 2 games against Glasgow, we will be number 1 seed only if Guildford drop a point. I think that Guildford have, though in saying that, we would be number 1 seed. Yeah, if Guildford drop a point, because they've got 6 points from 3 games, whereas the Sheffield Steelers have an overtime loss on the other side. So the only 2 teams with a 100% record so far are the Guildford Flames, the Belfast Giants. And of course, that proved beneficial to us last season.
Yep.
That proved beneficial to us last season, Joel.
It certainly did. Well, it's one of those things you don't want to, even if they're dead rubber, you want to rotate guys in. You want to give fringe players a chance, but you don't want to lose any momentum. We're playing for absolutely everything, and that includes top seed. It may not be as adrenaline filled as a kind of mid-season tilt against Sheffield or whatever else, but I want to squeeze absolutely everything out of this. It's a cup that we've dominated over the past couple of seasons, so let's do it again.
It's interesting as well. The 3 teams that are vying to try to stay in are the Fife Flyers, the Fife Flyers, the Nottingham Panthers, and with no wins and no points, the Cardiff Devils. What a battle that is to try to get that final spot in the Challenge Cup. Big thanks to our friends at Dundee Stars. You get the highlights in 4K on YouTube from the Dundee Stars TV, and 4-point weekend for the Belfast Giants. Time to move on, boys. It's time for the fan agenda for our good friends at Belfast Giants TV, with 2 goals on Saturday, including the overtime winner, and of course the opening goal for the Belfast Giants on Sunday. There's only one man we could ask to be on the show this week. Please welcome to View from the Bridge, Davy Gilbert. How are you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing really well, thanks. Give us your assessment of the weekend, David.
Well, it was good. I mean, 4 points. We played okay. I mean, we had at home it was a lot of fun. Obviously, we don't want to go to overtime. We kind of made it hard on ourselves, but it was really exciting. Like trailing and then coming back in the game twice and getting that win in overtime, and the crowd was just electric, which was just amazing for us, the players. It was a great feeling. And then after that, at the game on Sunday, it was a long travel day, but we showed up for the game. We had to put up a good effort and got the win, and yeah, that's all that matters.
How much of buzz do you get from an OT winner like that?
It's great. I mean, like scoring goals, try to find something similar to that, the feeling that it gives you. There's nothing that comes close to that. And to win the game, it's just it's the best. It's just the best feeling. So yeah.
Bonsoir, David, ça va?
Bonsoir, ça va bien toi?
Yeah, appreciate
his modern languages week.
That's all he's got.
Davy's come with the modern languages.
Appréciez-vous Belfast?
You want me to answer in French or in English?
probably best we'll go with English, David.
Yeah.
There's only really me, fluent in French here, apart from yourself. So
only one cultured person on the show.
That's it, mate.
Beside
Tried my
my
best there.
beside my parents, I don't think there's any other people that would understand me right now if I say I would answer you in French. Um, I love Belfast. Today was it was cold out today and windy. And you know, I they told me I need to get used to that, but
You do.
no, yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's a beautiful city. Um, Went out to eat a few times with my roommate Angeli, and the food is great. The people like it's just great people here. Um, the rink is awesome. Fans are great. I mean, I can't find anything that I dislike over here. The organization is top notch. They're helping us with everything we need. It's just been really good and smooth transition coming here.
I was talking actually about some of the guys. I was talking to somebody this morning. It was about 5 degrees. It's really cold. And I remember Paxton Schulte, one of the guys whose shirt's retired on the bridge, said give him -20 out in BC any day compared to 5 degrees in Belfast. It just hits differently. It's just that
Different
5
kind of
degrees
cold.
with the wet. It's just horrible.
Yeah, I rode the bike to the city today, and it was so windy, and I was getting angry at the wind, and but no, yeah, it is pretty cold, and I'm expecting it to get colder, right? Like in the winter, I guess. But
Yeah,
you guys don't have snow, do you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, but when
You'll have,
we do, the place shuts down. Completely
Yeah,
shuts
can't-
down. It's about
can't
that
deal with
much.
it.
It shuts down.
Can't deal with it. Yeah, like I want to wind back if that's okay. Just to the weekend. Obviously, there was a little bit of travel disruption on Sunday, David, going on the Stena Line ferry, which probably is I think anyway in your career so far, a unique experience in ferry travel to an away game. But having that kind of time delay, which knocks off your process, and for a lot of fans who don't see the team kind of in the day and daily. Hockey players are creatures of habit. You know, you've got your routine on a game day that you kind of stick to. Everything's kind of timed, including your shutdowns, including your meals, your pre-game meetings, whatever else. Having it knocked off unexpectedly like that and having a long travel day, how much does that actually impact you whenever you play on the road?
I mean, it didn't really, and it's part of. I mean, it started like waking up at 6 in the morning, and then that 7:30 ferry got canceled. So it's just like, all right. I mean, like, what else is like? It can't get worse, and then it just kept getting worse. So you just roll with it. Those are stuff that you don't control. And I mean, when we got to the rink over there in Dundee, I think we had like 45 minutes to get ready for the warm up. Usually we have 2 hours, right? So I don't know who said it. I think it was Goody. He said, "Well, we're here, might as well, right?" So
I mean, and that's it, though, right? Like you're throughout your career, you've played in Quebec back home. You've played in the ECHL and the AHL, the Czech Republic, and France. The coast, particularly, it's world renowned in hockey circles for having some of the most brutal road trips. So I guess once you've hung with that, you can hang with anything in the EI, right?
yeah. I mean, last time I played in the East Coast was a long time ago, from what I remember. Yeah, the toughest thing was the 3-3s on the road. Those were tough. Um, the travel last year in France was kind of hard because France is a big country, and then I think it was like most of the teams, it was like an 8-hour drive. So what we would do, we would leave the night before. We had a sleeper bus, but we left like at 10 o'clock the night before, slept on the bus, get to the hotel in the morning, wherever we were playing, check in, breakfast, morning skate, come back, lunch, nap, play, right back on the bus. So every time we're playing on the road, it was 2 consecutive nights on the bus. So that was tough. So
Yeah.
what we're doing here is different. I mean, we fly, but like right now we've been doing a lot of ferry. It is different, but I mean, I've seen worse. So what happened this weekend? Yeah, it wasn't the perfect travel day, but it was fine.
want to come to some of the fan questions in a second, but I'm going to have a bit of self-indulgence. You played for Český Budějovice in the Czech league. I once got very drunk in Český Budějovice on my way to Český Krumlov. That was a great time. How did you find playing in Czech Republic?
Yeah, I liked it. How did you like Český Krumlov? It's
really like Český Krumlov. So like all those cobble streets in the castle. Now, don't get me wrong. I went 21 years ago, but it was still a delightful place. Man, I was very young and I was very drunk. It was great.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like an island, kind of.
Yeah, like, it was the hill coming up from the train station though on the way back, and when you're really hungover from a really late night and trying to get back up that train, forget about it.
So you like the beer over there, huh? The Czech beer?
It's Czech beer, mate. Who doesn't like that?
It's unreal.
Czech
it's like
beer, Belfast beer, English beer. You know.
Come on, Davy.
It's less than £1 for a pint, I think, over there.
70p last time I was there. You couldn't beat it. Went to see Sparta Prague.
Lads. Well, back in 2001, it wasn't even 20p.
Like pennies.
That. But how do you find playing? Obviously, the Giants had a Czech opposition this year, and the last time we played in the CHL, and the level of the game over there is second to none. And I've been to a couple of games, Sparta Prague and stuff like that, and it's a very enjoyable game to watch out there. How did you find playing out there?
It was. I mean, so I played in both leagues, right? I played the one right underneath the Extraliga, and then my last year we moved up to the Extraliga, and the Czech guys are just relentless. They forecheck hard, they backcheck hard, and I mean, we had a bad year when we went up there to the Extraliga. We finished last, and it was tough, and it was during COVID too. And I was there by myself, and there's not a lot of imports over there, so there was like one other guy with me, I think. So all the other guys were Czech. I kind of had to learn a little bit of Czech. Like outside the rink, it was tough, but I liked it there. Like cost of living was so cheap. Hockey was good. We had a nice rink over there, and I don't know if you knew, but Český Budějovice, it's also called Budweiser over there. So it's the original Budweiser brewery over there. So that was one of our big sponsor, but nobody drank that beer there. They were all
that's
they were all drinking the Pilsner Urquell.
Yeah, so stay to the local stuff. Let's go to a couple of questions from Twitter and from the guys who are watching live. Alan Brett, about basically how does your time playing in Belfast compare to your time in Europe? Were you aware of the Giants of the Elite League before you came here?
Yeah, I was. I've been aware of this league for a while, especially with they offer like school programs and stuff. So like everywhere in Europe, all the guys talk about this league, and it used to be a league where you would come here like at the end of your career, get your school degree, and then play a year or two and then probably quit. But now, I mean, the league is getting better and better. Like just this summer, I was watching like all the guys signing in this league, and I was like, man, this guy's good. Like he has a lot of years ahead of him, and he signed in the UK league, and and then we saw it in the game in the games that we played against Cardiff, and even like us playing against those CHL teams, we did really, really good. So hopefully it puts the league on the map, and I mean, we have a good team, but it's good quality hockey.
Ryan Bevan's asking, what's the reason, or if there is one, behind number 67?
So when I was playing juniors, I was playing for the Quebec Ramparts, and I had number 61 because there was a player that I like, Derek Brassard, and I just picked up that number, and then I got traded to Bathurst, New Brunswick, and I decided to change my number. And at that time, it was Max Pacioretty playing for Montreal. He had that number 67. I thought it looked good, so I was like, I'm gonna try it. And then I just had really good years. Every year I wore the number 67. So it started in juniors. Then when I turned pro, went to the US, I never had that number again. And then when I signed in France, 6 years ago. They asked me what number do you want. I was like, I'll go with 67, and then add a really good year. So I just kept that number from that time.
Just not a big Ottawa fan.
A big what?
A big Ottawa 67s fan? No, it's going to be no.
No.
Alan Price, very simply, favorite Northern Ireland saying or phrase since you got here?
What's the crack?
Nice. He's one of us already. I'm impressed, actually.
I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn all the sayings, but that's the easiest one for me.
You get them off Deco?
Huh?
You get them off Deco? Just do it intensive.
He still
course.
doesn't have a clue what Dicko's saying at any time. It takes a little while. Belfast is hard enough, but Ballymoney is a whole different language.
I feel so bad sometimes when I go down the Spar, like at the Arc Apartments. I go down there, I go get a wrap, and that lady working there, she's so sweet, so nice. I don't understand anything she says to me. It's so bad. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we speak English, kinda.
Yeah, dude, you should hear her accent. It's rough.
And if you're watching, good evening.
Slow the accent down.
She knows. I told her multiple times.
Just about to slow it down, or just like I can't understand what I'm saying.
I can't understand even if you slow it down. There's something that I can't pick up.
You should go down and speak to her in French. See what she does.
Yeah.
See if you just have. See, she might speak back to you in French. She might shock you.
Maybe.
Boys, we've gone long enough in this interview. I think we've done really well without mentioning the celly from the weekend. I don't know if you've noticed, David, but Twitter has been awash with the pinchy hands emoji ever since, especially whenever you scored on Sunday in Dundee. Every single reply to the goal tweet was just that emoji. Do you want to talk to me about that? Was that off the cuff, or is that a little thing that you have in the back pocket, like Longer's glove flip?
No, I'm not a big celly guy. We have Cons, who's a big celly guy. So I'm more reserved when I'm a serious guy on the ice. And but what happened was last week someone sent me a link to a tweet, and it was that young kid, that fan. He said my name, and then he made that gesture. And then I liked the tweet. I replied to the tweet, and then people started like replying underneath it. And then someone said, "Oh, he needs to do that next time he scores a goal as a celly." And I saw that, and I was like, "I just might." And then
okay.
I was dying laughing. I was like, "I just might do it." And then the next game, Saturday, I mean, it was a tough game, and it was 3-2 for them. And then I got that tangle, and it's funny because was that with Jelly? I think I told him, I said, or was it Cons? I'm not too sure. But he was like, "Man, you need to score in the first or the third period so that you're like facing the boomerang corner, and then you go towards them and you make that sign." I was like, "Oh yeah, that'll be sick." But like, I'm like, all right. When I score, I need to make that celly, and I was like, all right, I need it. And I was just thinking about this celly, I was like, well, you need to score first. So I got the goal, and I got in the third, and it was just like perfect. I was on my way behind the net, going in the corner, facing the boomerang section, and then William Cherry was right in the corner, and he snapped a great picture of me and Longer. The picture is unbelievable. It's unreal. I was like, all right, now I might need to do it all the time now.
Yeah, no, you do. No, that's now a thing, especially look that I already know that BC, the corner, are probably designing some sort of large banner with the pinchy fingers emoji on it. Like, it's a thing now, man. That's it. Like, you do one thing here, and that's your whole entire shtick. So just get used to
your career becomes defined by it in Belfast.
Darcy Murphy had a Guinness once, and
didn't even like it.
It was amazing though. It lit everybody up. It's really nice to see a little bit of character and a bit of kind of fun.
It's cool. Like the interaction with the fans. I mean, like everywhere I played in Europe, the fans were great and they were into the game and really supportive. But like here, they just have that extra notch. And I'm like, I'm just gonna have fun and go with it. And, so like on Twitter, I'm just dying laughing of like the memes. I saw a bunch of memes and gifs and like I saw one with like Austin Matthews, like the two pictures, me and Austin Matthews, and it's funny because a week ago when I shaved my beard, the guys were like, "Oh, dude, you look just like Austin Matthews." And then a week later, the fans are on it on Twitter, and they posting pictures. All the memes. I saw another one. I think it was like Drake, and it was like the way you pronounce my name. And it was like the wrong way, and it was like no, and then when it was the right way, it was like I saved that meme on my phone. It's like Gilbert,
not David Gilbert.
Davy Gilbert.
Davy Gilbert.
You know what? At first, I told Kitschy, he was like, "So how should I pronounce your name?" And I just say David Gilbert. I don't care. and then I asked my fiance, she's from Chicago, and I was like, I don't know. I told him to say Gilbert, and she goes, "It's not Gilbert, it's Gilbert." I was like, "All right then." So I went back to Kitschy. I go, "All right, it's Gilbert." So
was like,
I want to go before you go there, Paddy. I want to go back to the hockey a little bit. See the game-winning goal in overtime. You've obviously probably seen the replay when the puck's coming around the back of the net for the winning goal. Are you just trying to get a quick release there? Are you picking pop in?
No, I'm picking the corner. I mean, the net doesn't move, right? Only the goalie does. So I know where the post is at. And
Svensson had a really good glove hand all weekend there, and that's the only place you're beating him. Is that in that very top corner?
Yeah, well, I study the goalies a lot, and I've been for the last few years. And I know Bassi coming from behind the net like that. I know Svensson's going to go in either with what it's called a VH or a reverse VH, or like go down on his post, and he's going to expose that far top corner. So, it's just I know where the net is at, and I know that's what I predict. That's the area that's going to be open. So it's just to get it off quick, to put it there, and I mean, he had no chance there.
So we've got two games this weekend, obviously against the Glasgow Clan, who are 0-7, and hopefully by the time the weekend ends, they're 0-9. And then after that, come next Tuesday, it's Swedish opposition back into the Champions Hockey League. The difference between playing the Champions Hockey League and the games that we've had, and then going into this game against the Swedish teams and playing domestically, there is a step up in speed.
Yeah, and it is tough to go back and forth with both levels because we want to play a fast game, but at the same time, it's like it's pretty much like dancing, right? You're dancing on the ice with the other team, and if the other team's slow, I mean, you can't go too quick and go, So you have to kind of adjust to the pace of the game, but you want to establish your own pace. But it is tough because like the CHL it's really good hockey, and the Swedish team is going to be really good. They're going to be quick, fast. They're not going to miss many passes. They're going to be opportunistic if they have some quality chances. So yeah, we're. I mean, like our team, we play good against good teams. I have no disrespect to Dundee or Fife, but obviously Davos was let's say a bigger team, and even like Chinets. And when they came here, we respond well to adversity when we play like against like a really good team. I would say we can fall asleep with a just a little not as good team, I would say. I don't want to say bad stuff here, like
it happens. It happens. Especially teams who are playing at such a high level in the CHL and then go up against it. They want to press against, but sometimes you play to the opposition.
Yeah, and for us, it's like we have way more fun playing with a team who wants to play, right? And they want to, compared to a team who's just sitting back and waiting for us to make mistakes, and they would flip the puck out of the zone all the time. It's not fun to play that type of hockey, and we have experienced that this year. So, I mean, we just need to learn how to play against a team that plays like that and not go to overtime.
Absolutely. Well, listen, mate, we really appreciate you coming on, and good luck this weekend against the Clan and on Tuesday. And thanks for merci pour votre temps.
Ça fait plaisir. You're welcome.
Nice, Patrick. Well
Big
done. Made us look
thanks
cultured
to
there.
Davy Gilbert for his time. Oh no, hold on.
What a guy, man.
Do that again. Do it again. Yeah, there we go. He really got away with it. He really got away with it. This is Ellie. Big thanks to Davy Gilbert for his time, for coming on and answering your questions. Thanks to everybody for sending the questions in on the fan agenda. Joel, any news?
Yeah, that was way too much fun. I really like having Davy Gilbert on the show. Can we just bring him on every week from now on, please? This past week in the Premier Sports Elite League, boys, really quickly, on Wednesday night, the Flames took a 6-3 win home from Manchester. The following night, the Sheffield Steelers shut the Glasgow Clan out in Braehead, winning 3-0. On Saturday, the Cardiff Devils handed Glasgow their third straight league defeat with a 6-3 win at Ice Arena, Wales. In a bit of an old-time hockey game, that one. A total of 82 penalty minutes handed out. And the Storm bounced back with a 5-1 win over the Fife Flyers in Kirkcaldy. Excuse me. On Sunday, the Storm handed Glasgow their fourth straight league defeat with a 6-3 win in Alty. And the Coventry Blaze made it another weekend to forget for the Fife Flyers, winning 3-2 at the Skydome. And in the Challenge Cup, the Flames needed OT to take down the Blaze at the Spectrum on Saturday, finding a winner with 8 seconds to spare on the power play for a 3-2 win. And on Sunday, they made it a 6-point week and with a 3-2 win, over Cardiff in Wales. Crucially, there were no statements from the Devils following that loss, but we'll keep an eye. Meanwhile, you could have written it, boys. Could have written it. I think Andrea Owens, to her credit, tweeted this on Sunday morning and said, the Nottingham Panthers are going to beat the Steelers today. And of course, the Nottingham statements defeated their arch enemies, the Sheffield no statements, with an Adam Brady goal in OT to make it 3-2. And speaking of statements, boys, we have statement. It's play the statement, Claxton, Paddy. It's week. Keep playing it. Just keep playing it. Keep playing it. One more.
Statement, Claxton. Breaking news.
It is week 4 in the Premier Sports Elite League. Or week 3? I can't remember. It's still very early in the Premier Sports Elite League, and we have yet another statement. Hello, Davey. After going, look at my look at my newsreader papers. They have absolutely nothing.
Somebody fix that.
These are. It's like deadline day. After going 0-3 in the Challenge Cup and 0-4 in the league, just to start their season, the Glasgow Clan have issued a statement apologising to fans just a week after the Nottingham Panthers.
Statement, Claxton.
My glasses are steaming up, I can't see. Issued a statement of their own. Managing Director Gareth Chalmers said, firstly, I want to acknowledge the anger and frustration that we're all experiencing following our disastrous start to the 22-23 season. On behalf of everyone at the club, we would like to apologise for the past 3 weeks. It simply hasn't been good enough. To date, our results and performances certainly haven't met our expectations. We're already working tirelessly to rectify that moving forward. Like you, we're very disappointed at the start of our season. There's no way myself and the club as a whole will sit there without taking action to produce a team that reflects the efforts and commitment. It goes on like this for a little bit. But there has been a statement.
Did that statement sustain on their website, Joel?
That one stayed on the internet and can
one
can still be viewed on the internet as of today.
Just
what
checking.
cannot be viewed anymore hours later on the same day. Paddy, we had another statement. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. I'm sorry. Banter Ice Hockey Club, based out of the Skydome in Coventry, released a statement of their own, which has since been deleted from the internet but the internet never forgets. So they said, firstly, we want to thank everyone for the fantastic support received to start the 22-23 season. We're deeply sorry we couldn't give you, our phenomenal fans, another 4-point weekend to celebrate. Hopefully Sunday's hard-fought victory over the Fife Flyers was enough to make up for Saturday's disappointment. After all, we are, caps lock, bold, top of the league. To date, our results and performances have been truly outstanding and met every one of our expectations. Blah, blah, blah. You get the joke. Not to be outdone, Patrick. I'm hearing in my ear that the Manchester Storm have also since posted and deleted a statement where they made... Davey's just sitting looking at us, man. It's making it harder. They made the joke that was already made that wasn't ever really funny, and apparently that's been deleted as well. It is statement season, boys. You said last week that the Nottingham Panthers set a precedent with that, and I think that that's actually sort of made its way into the league. One thing I will say, all jokes aside, I really like Garth Chalmers. I really like Jerry McLaughlin. Top people. Really, really tough start to the season. They're doing what they think they can do within their gift. But it comes back to that same question we asked last week. If things go wrong, are we all going to start apologizing for a 2, 3, 4 game stretch where we're kind of, not playing well?
I never apologize, Joel. I'm sorry, but that's just the way I am. I think it's respect. I think I said something on Twitter during the week, which is more or less, it's one thing for you to release a statement. It's another thing to do what the Coventry Blaze and the Manchester Storm did and deleted. Just like you're making your own rod. You're making a rod for your own back by putting out these apologies. But don't take the no. If I take the mic, if you take the mic, if they come back to us, absolutely. But for the official clubs to release official statements taking the mic, that stuff comes back and bites you on the backside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're top of the league, blah blah blah. But if you end up in a 7th, 8th, 9th run for the playoffs, somebody's pulling that out and going, do you remember what you said at the start of the season when you'd only played 3 games and the Giants hadn't even played a single game in the league? I know there's bants and there's crack, but that's just do it as a person. Don't do it as an organization. I'm not anti-crack. Obviously not. I do enjoy a statement.
We have had several statements this week in the Premier Sports Elite League. That's us up to date on statements, and pray we don't have any more. Yeah, like the clan thing isn't as much of a potential disaster to me than the Blaze giving it the big one. I would not be surprised if that was a phone call from Danny Stewart saying, "Get that down right now.
Get that off it
right now."
Premier Sports.
Your Premier Sports game of the week is Thursday, September 29th, 7 p.m., where the Coventry Blaze host the Cardiff Devils. And hopefully I'm not going to make the joke. We're done with that.
We're done. Thanks very much, Joel. Thanks very much for all of that. The Belfast Giants are back in. They've qualified for the quarterfinals of the Challenge Cup, but we still have Challenge Cup games to play. The aforementioned Glasgow Clan haven't released their statements. They will be up against the Giants away on Friday, 7 p.m. over at Braehead Arena. You can get it on Clan TV. 7 p.m. then back on Saturday, 7 p.m. at the SSE Arena. And if you're not down at that game, you get on Giants TV. And then before we come online the next time, the Giants will be in CHL action against a Swedish team whose name I've not yet learned to pronounce. Anybody? Davey, modern language this week.
Skellefteå.
Nice. There we go. Thanks, David. And that'll be that's next Tuesday at the SSE Arena, and you can also get that on Free Sports with our good friends, Mr. Aaron Murphy, and no doubt Mr. Colin Shields. Any other business, boys?
I have. Joel, have you anything?
I've made enough of an idiot of myself this week. Thanks very much, David.
So,
not at all.
Looking up here. Last year, we hooked up with Kevin Rain and we did a Rain Raiser 2021. We raised a lot of money. Thanks everyone that took part. The American chap that came in at the end and threw an extra 10 grand in the pot, helped Lakers charity out as well. Did a lot for Action Mental Health. This year we're going a slightly different way. We are going to do something with Rainer in the arena, probably around Christmas or something, for Action Mental Health. But see if this works. We're going for, how do I get rid of Views 2? Just to show that, lad.
Hold on.
on Twitter over the next few days. We're going to try bring us all back, Paddy. Where'd Paddy go?
Yeah.
We're going to go simplify it. Instead of all different stats, we're just going to get people to pledge. For example, the Belfast Giants scored 280 goals last season. I'm going to pledge £50 a goal. So if the Belfast Giants score 280 this year, that'll be £140 that I will donate to charity. And what we're going to do this year, given the sort of economic climate we're in, the crunch we're in, we're going to convert that into electric, gas cards, whatever, oil cards, and give it away to pensioners within the Belfast area, or nominate by fans of people that know some pensioners that could do with a little extra help with their services bills, and we'll get the boys to go and maybe see them and drop a little electric card off them. So I'll announce that if people want to get involved, 10p a goal, 5p a goal, whatever you can afford, it would be really appreciated. And as I say, we'll do something with Rainer with the mental health stuff along the way as well.
We'll put that out on all of our socials, Davey. I know it's we did. It was so good last season with the Rainer Razor and what was raised there, and of course there was that extra donation that was made by one of our friends. What was the gentleman's name in North America?
Really, really bad off me. I don't have it just to hand at the minute.
But it was a very, very generous,
like £10,000 generous. So fair play to him.
Incredible,
really,
incredible.
Really,
but yeah, fantastic that this will be done, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna a pound for every point the Belfast Giants scored in the league. So every point that the Giants get, I'm gonna put a pound in myself, and hopefully we can earn a lot of money for this and as part of this season's Rainer Razor. Joel, anything from you?
No, sir.
Sorry, Davey, go on. Back to you.
Go ahead.
I have one more, and it's probably a bit of a somber note to close the show out. One of the David Harrower. There you go, Kevin Rain. Thanks very much, Kevin. Obviously, David Harrower. Just didn't have his name to hand. Thanks very much. But obviously, last year he came in the Rainer Razor, and we're really grateful because that money went to Action Mental Health. And I'm not even sure off the top of my head what Lakers charity was now. I'm really badly prepared for this.
It was the Northern Ireland Children's Hospice.
For Northern Ireland Children's Hospice, which I was really, really blessed one day to go up there with Smo and take the league trophy up. And it was the only time I was ever in it. And it is an inspirationally sad place, happy place. You can't help but be choked up by going, but come out like buoyant as well and wanting to do things for them. So brilliant that David was able to help us, help them, because they need money so badly just to keep going and all this. But a couple of folk that sit at door 18, Sharon Muskelly being one of them, has unfortunately been terminally diagnosed with terminal cancer. She's put on her own Twitter or on her own Facebook tonight, so I'm not putting words in her mouth. She are out there. She's only got a few weeks left to live. We're going to lose another one to the rafters, unfortunately. Our thoughts and our prayers are with her and the family at the time. Her husband David, I think it's Casey child. Their kids. So it's a real trying time for them as a fan base. If you see them at the rink, if you get a chance to get in touch via Facebook, she mightn't be in a position just to answer those, but I'm sure she would really, really like your thoughts and your words at the minute. It's a tough spot for them to be in. She's faced it down as much as she can. It's obviously she's now got it out there in the public that this is what's happening with her, and we've been blessed to have her amongst our ranks for very many years. To say one of those door 18 loyal crowd, and she'll be missed around the arena. She's not gone yet. So we give her our prayers. We give her our thoughts. We love that she's been part of us for so long, and she will continue to be part of us for as long as we're Belfast Giants. All these people that have came before, that have gone, live with us, live in the rafters, and we raise a drink to them every year, and they'll never be forgotten. And all we can hope is that the next few weeks for you are as good as they can be, and you're with the loving arms of your family for the next few weeks. I don't want to say too much because I'll trip over more words here, but you are in our thoughts.
Well said, Davey. Well said. The games to the Belfast Giants, as we wrap up there, was the Glasgow Clan. It's away to the Glasgow Clan on Friday over at Braehead Arena. You can get it on Clan TV. At home to the Glasgow Clan on Saturday, 7 p.m. at the SSE Arena. Get yourself down there or follow it on Giants TV with Mr. Kitchen. And then, of course, it's the Belfast Giants back in CHL action against Skellefteå on Tuesday. Get down to the SSE Arena for that. or follow it on Free Sports TV with Aaron Murphy. Big thanks to Laura, Marcin, and to Davy Gilbert for their time and coming on and joining us. Big thanks to you two gentlemen. Good to see you. We'll not see you for the next couple of weeks, Joel.
Sorry, boys. I'm otherwise occupied for the next 2 Tuesdays, but I'll try not to miss me too much. I'll see you very soon.
We'll have to see if we can get a substitute in. Davey, I'll see you next week. Good
Hope so.
And you can get us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and you get our podcasts, of course, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. KingdomoftheGiants.com and on Facebook and the likes. And wherever you are this weekend, we hope you enjoy your hockey. We'll catch you here next time on A View from the Bridge.